Hi guys, welcome back to today's video. Today's video is from Top TV. It's titled Troubled for Being Christians. Playing at home could be illegal under Scottish buffer zone rules. I saw this and I was very surprised, concerned, disturbed. I was like, what's going on? What exactly is going on? But before we dive into the video to know what's up with the story, my name is Oge. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, hello, hi. Do well to like, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell, drop a comment on what you think about the video. I'll be dropping my thoughts during the course of this video, okay? So after this video, I also drop my thoughts, so it's important you watch to the end. Let's check this out quickly.
Hello there, welcome back. Now I teased before the break what we were going to be talking about now, and well, let's just get on with it, shall we? This is a subject very close to my heart. Residents are being told that being on private property is no bar to prosecution under new legislation. This is being brought in by the SNP, which took effect across Scotland last month, establishing 200-metre safe access zones around all abortion clinics. Now, residents in these zones have been warned that they could be in breach of the Abortion Services Act if they do anything that would cause harassment, alarm or distress to staff and patients, even if this activity is carried out in the privacy of their own home. Pro-life campaigners fear that praying in these zones will be considered an offence following the arrests of several activists for harassment and public order related offences in England and Northern Ireland. Well, let's dig into this with Michael Phillips, who's from who's a Christian Legal Centre lawyer. Michael, great surname, can I just say, and great religion as well. I'm one of your lot. But let's talk about this, because one would say, well, surely it's a bit of a stretch to say that, if there's a 200-metre safe zone and it happens to be that there's a residential property in this and someone is quietly praying at home, that they're going to have their collar felt by the police. That seems to be, to me, to be a far-flung fear. Yet the idea here for me that I find troubling is the fact that, once again, there's one religion in this country which the state wants to control. There's one religion in this country that the state is happy to kick in the groin. There's one religion in this country that has absolutely zero protections, seems to be regularly under fire, and it is our national religion which underpins our democracy and our cultural mores.
I totally agree, and I've been on to the SNP, the government, Scottish Government website this morning, and I thought that maybe this is a little bit of hyperbole from the press, but it just really isn't. I'm reading from the document itself, and it says that if someone does something in a private place, such as a private residence within the boundary of a safe access zone, that could be seen or heard in a public space that are part of the zone, an offence could be committed, and that could include, if you do it recklessly, that means you don't necessarily intend to do it, and it influences somebody's decision. And the problem is this, is that we know this isn't just some type of horror story that somebody's made up. It's been happening in England, and I've represented a couple of people, and there are other people who I haven't represented, but nonetheless they're being prosecuted, one of which is Adam Smith Connor, a veteran of the war in Afghanistan, on trial in Poole at the moment for the crime of silently praying for his dead son outside an abortion clinic in Bournemouth. Likewise, Isabel Vaughan-Spruce, who we're assisting, she too has been arrested on a number of occasions for simply that, praying silently. It's unbelievable, it's Orwellian, but unfortunately it is starting to happen.
I mean, this troubles me enormously. So could somebody in this catchment area, if they are a practicing Christian and want to have, say, a cross on their wall or something like that, or during Easter time put up Christian decorations, and it happens to be within this safe access zone, do you think they could be prosecuted for simply that? If someone going to a clinic walks past the house and says, it's made me feel uncomfortable because there was Christian stuff all over it.
Yeah, I think that there is a real fear that that could happen. So that if you have a sign on your wall, maybe about life, maybe about Psalm 149, which talks about the fact that David talks about the fact that he was knit together in his mother's womb. And if you had that in large letters outside your house, then potentially somebody goes past, they see it, they feel distressed, they feel as though they're being influenced. Then in those circumstances, they report you to the police, and then you could face criminal prosecution and a criminal record. And a fine of up to £10,000 if you were to be convicted of that offence. It's horrifying.
Now, I would say that
this is actually very scary. Wow, this is very, very scary. If you are found within such areas committing the offence, you could be convicted of committing a crime. But like this woman said, she said there's only one religion that is always under the fire. There's always one religion that is always under attack. Why are the Christians always under attack? Why? Just why? This is actually very scary. I mean, what if, well, I know that, I mean, abroad, it is a little bit different. They have a way of making sure that but it cannot happen in a country like mine. It can't, because every 5 meters, there is a church. And these churches do not even have it's because probably, I mean, my country is is so much different from this other. It's different from the I mean, the regulations concerning these things are so different from abroad, and yeah, so I can understand that there are two different things. But this is actually very scary because Christians are always under attack, and this is really, really scary because this is where it starts from before it actually escalates to the fact that you can't be Christian anymore. Because I mean, it might obviously come to that. It might obviously come to the fact that they tell you, oh, you can't be Christian anymore.
As someone who's a Christian herself, Christians by and large get on with being Christians quietly. You wouldn't know most Christians on the street. We don't tend to put on, specific type of dress, or it's a discreet religion. It is quite a private religion by and large, and yet you are at the Christian Legal Centre. How often are Christians sort of getting into trouble with the law simply for being Christians, and what sort of things for?
Well, the Christian Legal Centre didn't exist 15 years ago because there was no real need for it, and now it's a staff of about 10 or so people that are working full-time on these kinds of cases. So they represent street preachers who get themselves arrested because they're just offending people, and by and large have always been acquitted. Sometimes it's Christians who are in the workplace who are dealing with issues of trans, whereby at the moment there's the Darlington nurses, and they have been told that they can't change in the changing room because there's somebody in there who identifies as a woman but is a biological male, and they're having problems and they've been moved out to a different workplace. And so these various ideologies, other religions have come into the United Kingdom, and Christians want to exist peaceably alongside these people. But increasingly they're being told that not only do you have to just live alongside other people, which they can agree with, but they're told that you have to endorse certain things, wear certain lanyards, say certain things, have certain pronouns. And then at that point, a lot of Christians say, well, I really can't do that. I don't agree that a trans woman is a woman.
Do you think, for instance, if someone was from a different religious faith, say they were with any of the others, let's say, and they said, look, I don't want to wear the rainbow lanyard because it goes against my religious faith, that they would be left alone, but the Christian wouldn't be?
It seems as though other religions get associated with a race, and people are very uncomfortable with the idea that they could be labelled a racist. But if you are anti-Christian, nobody ever suggests that you're racist. And so that's one of the things that kind of maybe keeps other religions safe. Look, we're not advocating for discrimination against any religion, but unfortunately,
we're advocating against not discriminating against Christianity, it seems to me. I'm just going to bring Tom into this, actually, because Tom is saying that he's a lapsed Catholic, but actually feels quite passionately on this subject. Now, my position here is, for whatever reason, it's very trendy to try and run Christianity down, try and destroy it, try and eradicate it from society, and all the other religious they should be celebrated.
Well, it does seem, and particularly on this abortion issue, I mean, it's a very complex issue and there's very strong views on all sides, but it does seem like one side is almost being persecuted here. Yeah. And actually, if you've got a pro-life views, you're not entitled to those views. And even if you are silently, privately playing in your own house within that, this is deeply concerning. There's other things that are concerning, and I think actually, for example, move to totally decriminalise abortion up to birth, essentially, and you could have an abortion by pills without seeing a medical professional right up to birth. This is chilling. And the fact that pro-life campaigners are being stamped out and persecuted in this way it's deeply concerning.
Alarming. Yeah. It's the direction of travel we're going down. Look, thank you to Michael Phillips.
This is alarming. Like, it is so alarming, it is so concerning. I mean, what is even more concerning for me in this story is the fact that even if you pray silently and you are caught within this buffer zone, so I think it's best. But what if there are residential areas there, like there are Christians who are residents in such buffer zones? What would happen? So they can't pray, they can't live as Christians, they can't do what Christians are supposed to do. This is really, really, really alarming. Like, but thank God for this body of lawyers and people who fight for the rights of Christians, protect the Christians, and all of those things. Thank God for them, because I mean, so that when people are being arrested, you know, they could have someone who will stand in for them and, you know, help them. This is really concerning. If you stay around these buffer zones, what do you think is the issues here? What do you think can be done? What do you think? What have you been doing? How have you been able to live? How do you think someone who's a Christian can survive in such zones? And you cannot be a silent Christian. I mean, these days Christianity is going into extinct. Like, you can be a Christian in the UK and nobody will know. Like, nobody will know, because we don't have a certain dress code, we don't have anything, we're just Christians in our mind, and that's where it ends. And that is not even what Christ expects us to do. It's so difficult, honestly. But I mean, in a country like mine, it's a whole different ball game, okay? But I mean, I hope, but I would love to know how people are surviving in such areas. Have those laws been put in place? Like, it has started, has begun? What are people doing that is helping them, especially Christians are living around those areas? What do you think can be done? What do you think about this particular rule, this new rule? Do you think that Christians, there's trouble for being Christian in the United Kingdom? Do you think it is? Because I mean, it starts from these little things before it escalates, like I mentioned. Yeah, so what do you think? What are your thoughts, opinions, and comments concerning this? Yeah, let's know in the comment section. Do well to like, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video.